Tech Tuesday! G'day, Stu from UAV Futures here, and today, well, I've just realised how insane I must look if anybody's walking past and they're looking into this room, seeing a young Australian dude yell at the camera with such enthusiasm. But what this is, welcome back to Tech Tuesday, where every Tuesday we get together, we talk about some new, different, or just exciting tech in the FPV drone racing world. And today we've got this little package from RunCam, and this is their micro DVR recorder. So essentially what you can do, you put this in your craft and then it records DVR straight to this. You don't get any of the static or the RF noise that comes through with a lot of the reception, issues that we have when we're flying around with our goggles. So we're going to quickly stick it on the bench and then we'll find a little craft to put it in and then take it for a little burn, show you some DVR and I guess weigh it up and is this a good option for you? So let's do it. Stick it on the bench. It's not going to be too long because it's pretty basic, and then go have some fun in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, here it is on the bench. You can see it's absolutely tiny, and what this is, it's designed, you put it in your craft, it records some DVR. So let's tear our scales off, find out how much it's going to weigh. It should just be a couple of grams. So it's coming in at about 3.5 grams. And this is going to be a very sort of short intro video. We're quickly going to look at it and say some of the specs. And then the important part, let's put it in a craft, fly it around and find out just how well does it record the DVR, and is it something you want to use? Because nowadays we're getting more than ever things like the splits or the turtlet. There's a lot of options out there where you can record some stuff from your craft, and this for the DVR, is it going to be the right one for you? So some of the things off the bat, it's very easy to hook up. It takes a 3 volts to 5 volts, and all you need to do when you've got your camera, instead of running your camera wires straight to your flight controller, where usually that's where most people do it anyway, and you get your OSD or straight to your VTX, you just run this straight to, you sort of put this in between, so your 3 wires. I'll flash a diagram on the screen. It's very, very easy to wire up. You video in, your ground, and your 5 volts, and then your video out, your ground, and your 5 volts. So very, very simple stuff to wire out. Now it can take up to a 32 gigabyte SD card. You simply pop it in there. It's spring loaded. I probably would recommend putting a little bit of tape over there, and then all you need to do is press this button when you want to start recording, press it to save it. I would like it. I've heard in the field, and we're going to do some testing, that if you don't do it and you just unconnect your battery, you can lose a bit of your footage, and it is recording at 30 frames a second as well. Now, that's it. That's probably the quickest 1.5 minutes, 1 minute part of a bench review that I've done, because look, all it is, it's a DVR recorder. It is in the 20x20 size, but the good stuff, let's put it in a little craft now, and then let's go record some DVR and also record it on the goggles and see if we can get something that looks a little bit different and find out, is this a good option, or is it just worth it to use the DVR goggle? Rightio, so here it is. I've ended up soldering it in or installing it into my ET125. I really like this drone. It's a great little proximity flyer, but it can't carry a GoPro, so this would be a great one to check its DVR on. You can go also watch the link to this video up here. I really, really am a big fan of this. And what I did have to do is, you can see I cut 2 sort of little holes, so I can put the SD card in here, and then the other one is, to press start and stop, not start, to stop our recordings when we're done. So that's it in the drone. Nothing too special. The 20x24 made it very, very easy to install. Only 3 wires that I had to snip. I think I've got the little plug still somewhere here. So all I had to do, I just cut it pretty much, and then it was very, very simple. So voltage to voltage, ground to ground, video out and video in. Very, very easy sort of stuff to install. So let's go out, have some fun, and fly this thing around and see how it goes in the field and compare the DVR side by side to the goggle DVR you're going to get on most people's recordings. All right, let's do it. Go have some fun. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, let's do it out in the field. Let's put it to the test in the ET125. It is ridiculously windy. I don't know if this is coming through on the camera. The weather here at the moment is making trying to do videos, even just trying to fly, very, very difficult. But we're at this cool little park. It looks amazing for just some gentle fun, I guess, proxy flying, really cool stuff just for exploring and having fun. So let's do it. Compare the 2 DVRs, the one from my goggles and also the one from the RunCam board. All right, let's have some fun and hopefully get a pack in before it starts raining. All right, this is take 2. I'm a bit grumpy. I let out a few Trev words when I got home because the stupid thing didn't record. So I don't know what it was. I pressed the button. It was meant to look like it was recording. And I don't know if in some of those brownouts when we punch it over and all that sort of stuff, if when this loses power, it does. You need to be able to make sure you can press the button. So if you get a too low of a brownout, if something goes wrong, your battery ejects, whatever, you have a bad crash, it just happens to disrupt the power for a second, well, there goes your DVR. So I've driven back out here to the park, take 2. let's test this thing again and compare it to some other goggle DVR. And if this doesn't work, well, I'm just gonna fly it around my house and you guys will just get an indoor sort of look. Anyway, let's do it. Take two, fingers crossed. Alrighty, so we're going to do a little bit of I guess, an experiment with you guys, and I'm going to tell you which one is which in about 10 seconds, but I wonder if you can tell the difference just straight up when they're next to each other like this. There's not any interference, and of course, now that sort of gives it away. We've got the RunCam board on the left and just the normal DVR recording in our goggles on the right. And when you're sort of close to yourself, you're not going to really notice too much of a difference. I do find it doesn't seem to skip frames or anything like that, which sometimes can happen with our goggle DVR. Another thing to mention too is if you want some good looking footage, I don't think this is going to be anywhere near as comparable to some GoPros, and I'm going to do another test, when I'm flying around, because environments do make a difference. But if you're flying close to yourself, you're probably going to find you're getting the same results versus in your goggles versus actually sticking something like this in your craft. Plus, it's an extra expense if you do want to put it in all your crafts. Now, for me, I find the value, it might be if you were doing something a little bit more crazy. Maybe you're flying in some places where you don't, you can't carry a GoPro, because first and foremost, this is so you can watch back your footage on crafts that don't have it. Maybe you'll be flying in some places where you can't carry a GoPro, and also you're going to be getting a lot of breakup, a lot of static, a lot of RF noise. Maybe you're at a race, you're getting some interference coming over, some bleed over. You're not getting very good FPV signal, but you'd still like to watch back the DVR. Well, then this is where that makes up for a good option. And because it's so light as well, it's not, I guess, too much of a weight hindrance no matter what craft you're going to put it in. Now, I was a little upset before when I, drove out to the park, did this test, and then had to drive home, drove back out again the second time, because I don't know why the first time it didn't record my DVR in the board, I should say, on the RunCam one, because I did press the stop button, all that sort of stuff. It looked like it was working, and maybe I just got unlucky in a crash. If it popped out the SD card, if it just split the power off for a second, maybe it rebooted the board or something like that. So it all looked fine in my goggles, but when I actually got home to check the footage, that DVR was missing from the board, and I think that's something that I would like to be fixed. If you lose power, it can still somehow save your footage. But what we should do, I've got another little test here where we get a lot more static, and I think that's where the little onboard DVR does shine a lot more. Okie dokie, here we go. So we're going to punch it. We're going to lose some video from the right, because that's what happens on low voltage on the ET or 125. So we should be getting a little bit more breakup, and that's going to put this thing through its paces. And you can see where, look, it does pay to have an onboard DVR recorder if that's what you want to record in better quality without getting any of those breakups or anything like that. We'll do another little punch, get some more static. And then also, watch this. This part's really interesting. On the right, we're about to jump frames. So that's in the goggle DVR, but you sort of eliminate that happening when you're just with the onboard DVR. So it does have some of its benefits. We'll do a little crash as well, and it didn't seem to reset this time, so it was all good. So definitely, look, it does have some merit to it. Alrighty, so there's my Tech Tuesday. Quick look at RunCam's little DVR board, and overall my feelings, I'm kind of mixed about it. I do like what it does, and I think the option to record DVR, it's nothing new, but it is nice in its little form factor, and especially if you've got some little drones you want to put it in, yes, you're going to get better DVR than Versum goggles. You're not going to get any of that breakup, but don't be expecting some amazing, I guess, HD quality in terms of anything like a GoPro. You've got contenders like the Cadex, which is in this one right here, so like the little turtlet, whatever their spelling mistake was of the Cadex. You can go watch this video up there. You are putting in something in a little bit bigger, but you're going to be getting some HD, whereas in this, you are very much limited to I guess DVR sort of quality, because that's the sort of stuff it is. Anyway, what do you guys think? Drop your comments down below. I was a little bit frustrated, like I do like the single board, but I was frustrated with when I first went out to fly, it didn't record, and I don't know if that was like just because of the crash. It didn't do anything different, or maybe we just got too low voltage and it shut off and it didn't save, so that part needs to be a little bit more reliable, because that's probably my biggest gripe with it. Anyway, what do you guys think? Subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying! Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page, because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAV Futures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying!